10 ways to show up for yourself. Remember this key tip. At the end of the day, all you have is yourself. You need to be there for yourself. You need to love yourself, support yourself. All you have is you. So this is 10 different ways to show up for yourself, especially if you're not really sure like how to do that. Tip number 1 is start a habit of asking yourself, what do I need right now? I need. Like that's you. It's self-care for you. What do you need right now? Do you need to be with your family? Do you need to be with your friends? Do you need to just take like a mental day and just stay off of your phone? Do you need to start taking therapy? Focus on what you need and what you want, because I feel like we live in a world now where it's okay to care about others, but also remember to always put yourself first, because like I said, at the end of the day, all you have is you. You were the last person on earth. Imagine that. I would go crazy if I was the last person. I love my social interactions, so no. Number 2 is check in with yourself regularly. Deep, get honest, get real. You could journal, or you could just kind of like record yourself. Like I used to do video diaries on my old MacBook on photo booth. I used to do just like little video diaries. It was before I started journaling, and then I started journaling, and then for a while I did voice memos because I was scared of my journals getting read. Just check in with yourself. Like really just take a day and be like, okay, what do I need to do? What do I want to do? How am I going to do it? What's my top 3 priorities? Get real, because I feel like the only time us humans can get real is with ourselves. Like yeah, you can do it with a partner, with a best friend, but at the end of the day, the only person that's going to judge you is you. Listen to your emotions with curiosity and less judgment. As I just said, nobody's harder on yourself than you. The world can be hateful, people can be bullies, but guys, like there's worse things I've said to myself than somebody has told me. Does that make sense? Like I'm hard on myself way more than I should be. What are your emotions telling you? If you're sad, why are you sad? If you're mad, why are you mad? If you're happy, write down why you're happy. Listen, but don't judge yourself. And that's really hard to do. That's really hard to do. Like I feel like me saying that is one thing, but I'm still learning how to do that for myself, and I'm just like, girl, that takes time, practice, patience. Speak kindly to yourself. As I said, we're so hard on ourselves. Every small win is still a win. Every loss is a loss. Don't put too much pressure on yourself if you didn't accomplish something today or something fell through. Keep the kindness and self-love like with yourself. Don't bury it and just be mad. Don't hold a grudge with yourself. Like holding a grudge with yourself is so damaging mentally, emotionally. If you have a grudge with yourself, forgive yourself and then just move on. Let go and stop comparing. This one I still struggle with, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I don't compare my life. I do daily. And use gratitude instead of comparing yourself. Think about what you're thankful for. Just because somebody has something that you don't doesn't mean you'll never have it. Like majority of my cousins are married, they have kids, they have their dream home, and I'm over here single, no kids, and I live with my dad, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying that's how I compare. Every single time I go on Facebook, I need to stop doing that. Comparing yourself to what others has makes you not want to do anything. But you have to do something to get what you want. Do something for your mind, your soul, your body daily. That could be self-care. That could be something that you love to do. If you love going hiking, if you love going fishing, if you love spending time with your friends, if you love going shopping, like do something for yourself every single day. If you want to do a self-care night, or if you want to do a movie night, or if you want to have a girls' night, don't forget to take care of yourself, love yourself, put yourself first. Self-love is selfish because self-love is you. Create more than you consume and watch what you consume on social media, on the news. Guys, for the longest time, I was constantly keeping up with the news. I was watching what was going on in the world. I was watching what the weather was going to be like. There was always something bad happening in the world that made me so sad, so depressed, so lost. And I just stopped watching the news. I was like, there's no good news. It's always like what's happening that's not good. Social media is kind of the same way. We get lost in the scrolling. I try not to spend too much time scrolling on social media, but I do love supporting people who I follow, so I do like scroll a little bit, but I don't like scroll for hours like I used to. Notice where your energy goes. If you have to film a day in the life video and just kind of film what you're doing like that day, that's a great way to recognize like what you actually do in a day. Like, don't do anything that you wouldn't do in that video, but just kind of go back and be like, wow, I spent 20 minutes scrolling on TikTok, or wow, I spent an hour watching YouTube videos. Notice where your energy, your time goes. That is very important to stay motivated, to kind of just focus on you and know what you're doing. Notice what inspires you and notice what drains you. I am really bad at this, but I'm trying to get better at separating the two, what inspires me versus what drains me. Write down a list. It can be someone that inspires you, something that you do that inspires you, something that you read that inspires you. Also write down what drains you. Is it something somebody said? Is it something somebody did? Something that happened that day that you're just like, never mind, like forget about it, I'm going back to bed. Set boundaries. Don't just let it happen. Like, allow yourself to say no, allow yourself to be like, you know what, turn the phone off, we're gonna go do something else. Lastly, this is so important. Like, number one tip, I saved it for last. Ask yourself, is this good for me? Is this good for me? Ask yourself that daily with everything you do. So like for breakfast, I'll have a donut. And then I'll think to myself, is this good for me? No. Do I still do it? Yes. Is that what I have for breakfast? Yes. Asking yourself, is this good for me, is a way of self-love. Like, is this gonna damage me? Is this gonna put me back? Is this gonna break my heart later? Like, is this, like, what are we doing? It's a really good question to always like carry with yourself. Is this good for me? Those were like little tips and tricks on how to show up for yourself, how to start gaining back the self-love, build self-love. Self-love is selfish. Like I said, it may sound like a very selfish video, but self-love is selfish. Like, there's no way around that. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you in my next one.